print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
This is Patricia Mary, and for the next hour, I will be reading from the Saturday, Sunday, March 14th, 15th issue of Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. From the front page of Off Duty, the new way to watch the Oscars, turning every moment into a wager. Movie fans have put over 100 million on the show so far, and this is by John Jurgensen. The Academy Awards viewing party being thrown in a UCLA campus theater Sunday will have all the glitz and glamour of the Bruin Film Society's annual blowout. Young cinephiles decked out in dresses and suits, a bingo game for what celebrities might wear or do during the live show. Ballots for partygoers to predict award winners and vie for gift cards and stickers. But some of these film fans will be playing for higher stakes, with money riding in the online prediction markets that are crashing Oscar parties this year. The movie world version of the Super Bowl has long had its own gambling tradition as movie fans try to guess the night's winners and compete at house parties or in office pools for bragging rights or collective pots of cash. Now, instead of straightforward ballots with boxes to tick for each award, some Oscar buffs are using platforms such as Kalshi and Polymarket, known as prediction markets. There they can wager on all the official categories plus some unorthodox ones, including which celebrities will attend and what will be said, like artificial intelligence, which recently had a 73% shot of getting mentioned by host Conan O'Brien, according to the Kashi betters. At the UCLA party, Leanne Reimker will have her Kashi app handy and her fingers crossed to hear the name Wagner Moraa announced for Best Actor. The 21-year-old major, art history major says she has never gambled on anything before. But as an Oscar obsessive, she surmised that Timothy Chalamet's Marty Supreme campaign was on shaky ground with traditional voters, and she knew the history of the Brazilian surges at the Oscars could bode well for Moura, Brazilian star of The Secret Agent, a period drama set in the country. He had just won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in January when Rimiker plunked down $5 on him on the Kashis during her lunch break at work. She wagered the same amount on Amy Madigan to win Best Supporting Actress for the horror movie Weapons. A Morrow upset over current front-runners Chalmette and Michael B. Jordan in Sinners would pay off 10 times Rimiker's initial stake. If Wagner Mora wins, I'm going to shriek, she said. I'll be happy for him, but I'm going to be more happy than I just made $150. As a college student, that's a lot of money. Entertainment bets skyrocket. Betting on the outcome of public events is now a popular pastime thanks to prediction markets. Users splash out cash on the odds of Donald Trump's reelection, changes in the Federal Reserve rate, shifts in weather, and a regime change in Venezuela. Sean Barkhead, 19, pocketed just $5 on his first ever cashy wager by predicting Bad Bunny's first song in the Super Bowl halftime show but that was enough to get him scoring Oscar odds. I caught the bud, Barkay says, now the UCLA sociology major and film society member, has $75 across 10 categories from production design to original score. Having watched his fraternity brothers gamble on their sport expertise, he was pumped to bet on his Oscar knowledge with his fellow film nerds. This is our Final Four, he says. Online sports books like FanDuel have also fueled the gambling explosion, but prediction markets work differently. They function as exchanges where traders buy yes or no shares based on whether a real world event will happen or not. The price people are willing to pay for either outcome is what determines the odds, reflecting the market's prediction of the outcome. Sporting events dominate, but the annual horse race that is Oscar season, with movie stars and filmmakers jockeying for glory, has surged in activity. On Kalshi, the trading volume on Oscar categories recently hit $48.4 million and is expected to climb. The total volume traded on the Oscars last year was $29.6 million, up from $2.3 million in 2024, the company says. On Polymarket, which was banned in the US in 2022 but has created a waiting list for US users ahead of a planned relaunch this year. Traders buy and sell with cryptocurrency pegged to the US dollar. With a couple of days to go before the Oscars, the total volume of Academy Award trading was at $57 million, with about half devoted to the Best Picture race at $30 million. That was about how much the poly-market community had riding on whether the Iranian regime will fall by the end of March, but far less than the total wagers on a possible interest rate change this month, $340 million. Oscar ballots go high tech. Mike Kolaric, 40, of Austin, Texas, is predicting a market to help improve people's Oscar pools. He created a free ballot building site, awardseason.fun, that pipes in real time odds from Kashi to set custom point values for each nominee, with higher points assigned to dark horse contenders. By bringing in the Kashi odds, you can entice people to make some more interesting picks, and they get paid off for doing that. Michael says about 15% of his users have turned on the paid pool feature that lets them collect entry fees through Venmo and tabulate payouts when the Oscars are over. As with other gamified areas of society, smashing out workout goals on fitness apps, hitting frequency targets on Duolingo, there's a cultural clash with gambling meets the arts. At the Golden Globes in January, Polymarket was not just a sponsor, but part of the CBS telecast. The company also has a data partnership with Dow Jones, the publisher of the Wall Street Journal. Real time odds on screen show viewers that underdogs, including Dwayne Johnson and Adam Sandler, had a roughly 0% chance of being named winners. The nominees themselves could see the grim stats because the Polymarket ads were also displayed in the Globe's ballroom. The backlash on social media was harsh, with many viewers calling the gimmick crass, disrespectful to the nominees, and even diazopan. At the Grammys, host Trevor Noah joked about insider trading on a popular subcategory of the prediction markets, known as mention markets. If you had me saying potato on Polymarket, you just made a ton of money. So congratulations, Noah underscore 22, whoever that is. The Academy Awards, which is rebooting in 2029 with a move to ABC to from ABC to YouTube, isn't expected to involve sponsored predictions market tie-ins Sunday. Barcade, a UCL student, mostly picked frontrunners for his Oscar wages, but couldn't help betting with his heart in a couple of categories. Train Dreams, about one man's journey through the 20th century, now has only a 5% chance of winning Best Cinematography. But Arcade thought the beauty of Apollo Velo's rendering of the American West was worth getting behind. I'm not very hopeful for my $5, Arcade says, but I wanted to show my support. The fashion article: What Brad Pitt in F1 and Michael B. Jordan in Sinners Can Teach Men About Style. This year's Oscar nominated movies are a menswear feast. Stylish stylists and custom designers offer five takeaways, and this is by Sam Schwab. Many of the male characters in this year's slate of Oscar nominated films will make for great Halloween costumes, but they also provide excellent real world wardrobe inspiration. It is an inspiring year for menswear in film, says Maiko, who is up for Best Costume Design for her work on Marty Supreme, starring Timothy Chalamet. This year's crop of films is full of stars wearing invaluable outfits, from Calmet's period correct suits to Brad Pitt's F1 sweatshirt and the personalized accessories seen on Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. Before you ask, yes, you should be taking style cues from movies. I draw endless inspiration from film, says celebrity stylist Iara Ubanti, citing menswear heavy movies like Goodfellas, The Talented Mr. Ripley, and The Royal Tenenbaums. But there's a fine line between borrowing a slick styling move and tipping into cosplay. Washington based content creator Xander Torres cites that he calls the Magnum PI example. On their own, short shorts, Hawaiian shirts, and a distinctive ball cap are great pieces to incorporate into your wardrobe. But if you wear the tiny shorts and the Detroit Tigers cap and the Hawaiian shirt and the Sperry's, you're gonna look like it's a Halloween costume, he says. Here, industry insiders and leading cos- costume designers share what you can learn from this year's Oscar nominated movies. Make your look yours. In director Ryan Coogler's Southern vampire blockbuster Sinners, Michael B. Jordan pulls double duty playing twins Smoke and Stack. Coogler and costume designer Ruth E. Carter, a two-time Oscar winner nominated again this year, distinguished the brothers using color, with Smoke getting pops of blue and Stack wearing reds. Carter also delivered a master class in using accessories to personalize an outfit. Stack's more volatile, swaggering personality is expressed through little details. He's that guy who wants his sleeves cuffed to come out below his jacket a full inch, and wants to have not only the tie bar, but the collar bar, and the pocket square, and the pocket chain, and the cufflinks, and his initials embroidered on everything, Carter says. As Giovanni explains, Stack illustrates the difference between styling versus just wearing clothes. The trick is nailing the balance. You don't want to overdo it, she says, but you can play with small ways to make the outfit a little cooler, even if it is as simple as throwing a sweater over your shoulders. Look cool in the summer. Winter style is so easy for guys because they can do gorgeous jackets and coats and beautiful sweaters, says T. Summer is more limiting in some ways. One answer to your seasonal style depression comes from Kelber Finao's The Secret Agent, which stars Wagner Moura as a former professor living under the rule of the Brazil's military dictatorship. Throughout the 70s set thriller, Moreau wears period appropriate short sleeve button ups that, while no help with the assassins on his tail, give him a bright, easygoing sense of style. Yerbanti loves short sleeve shirts for summer. Her trick? Stick to soft, fluid fabrics and retro colors to steer away from Nassau or Gulf vibes. Pull up your pants. On the set of Marty Supreme, Joshua Swati mid-century ping pong epic, Oscar nominee Balazi dealt with an unusual obstacle. Her leading man, Calumet, is a fashion world daring who could pull off anything, while his character, Marty Masur, is a scrawny hustler trying to make a name for himself. She put Calmet in elongated suit jackets with structured shoulders, in part to emphasize the character's extra large sense of self. Regular guys should steer clear of oversized suits, but they can benefit, Balazzi explained, from the high waisted trousers that Calmet's Masur wears throughout the film. They're a sort of cheat code, she says. When your pants are higher, your legs look longer, you appear taller. Do what Brad does. Brad strides through F1 in beat to hell jeans, suede boots, and denim shirts. The stone cold classics. Those are always good options, even if you don't like the movie star. Everyone can take inspiration from the clothes his character, aging race car driver Sonny Hayes, wears to work out, particularly one item. If you can get yourself a vintage style crew neck sweatshirt with a little Dorito chip stitching at the neck, you can throw that on with anything and always look cool, but comfortable. Your Monty says, referring to the triangular shape often found on old school sweats. Want to really follow the Hayes playbook? His knit comes from British brand Sunspell. Really roll up your sleeves. Director Chloe Cho and costume designer Mazoic were very clear on what Hamlet wouldn't be, William Shakespeare's biopic. When doing her research, Mosaic, also nominated this year, focused less on the very stiff portraits that sometimes are used to represent the era in favor of paintings, especially of the lower class, where we see period clothing worn in a more natural way. The extended to the high and tight way star Paul Mescal, playing a young Shakespeare, rolled his shirt sleeves up near his biceps. That started as a character beat. It was Mescal's idea that he would always have the tight cuffs rolled up because he's writing, Mescal says, but had the additional effect of making young Will look a little more modern. Turns out you can learn a lesson from Shakespeare that has nothing to do with playwriting. Rolling your sleeves above the elbow looks a little less work a day, in part because it works best with blousier shirts like 90s inspired flannels. That combination of fabric and silhouette, Tori says, makes it look a little bit more lived in. You're not just putting your shirt on, you're making a style choice. You are listening to the reading of articles and features from Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. From the design page, 4 tricks to make your TV look like a work of art. Televisions like the Samsung frame display artwork when they're turned off, blending in with your living room. But designers say there's more you can do to pull off the illusion. And this is by Sal Esquila. In 2017, when Samsung released its Frame TV, an LED flat screen that, when turned off, displays works of art instead of going dark, designers rejoiced. Gone was the question of what to do with the unsightly black box in every living room. Since then, other models have joined the fray, including ones from TCL and Hisense. This spring, two new versions hit shelves. Amazon's Amber Art line from $900 and LG's Wallpaper TV, pricing still to be determined. They all work similarly using screens that eliminate glare, which enables digital art to convey a realism that you won't find on non-specific specialty TVs. The illusion can be tricky to maintain. However, here designers share the best ways to make your TV really feel like art, rather than drawing attention to your unsuccessful camouflaging efforts. Pick a simple trim. Your first step should be buying a trim kit, a frame that goes around your TV, steering away from anything too flashy, like heavy moldings, gold leaf finishes, or bright metallics, says Risa Amati, co-founder of Poppy Street Interiors in Newport Beach, California. These details tend to call attention to the fact that it is actually a TV. Resist the pull of third party options online, which tend to be more elaborate, says Bethany Adams, an interior designer in Louisville, Kentucky. Usually I'll choose Samsung's frame in white or one of the wood tones because it's clean, reads as framed, but doesn't grab attention. Don't skimp on sound. A soundbar is an easy and cost effective solution to the perennial problem of shoddy TV sound. It's also the quickest way to ruin the illusion of your not a TV. Designers go to great lengths to conceal speakers by embedding them in walls and ceilings, hiding them behind acoustically transparent fabric, or even disguising them in furniture, all jobs that can drive up the cost. Many favor in-wall speakers, from the ones from Sonance from $1,515 for a pair, which projects sound through drywall. Wireless surround sound systems from DIY friendly brands like Sonos makes it easier to distribute sound throughout the room. Though the speakers remain visible, they're not quite as conspicuous as hanging a sound bar under the starry night. Nail the height. Another major issue with the TV is art illustration. The ideal height for watching a movie, eye level when sitting, differs from the height used in museum galleries. Designers recommend skewing higher. When hanging a frame TV on a blank wall, I center it at 54 inches off the floor, Adam says. This is a comfortable height for viewing and allows you to play into the illusion by placing furniture beneath it that's about 28 to 30 inches high. If working around a fireplace, going too big can give the display away. The TV, including the frame, should be no more than 60 to 70% of the width of the wall segment it lives on, says Washington, D.C. based designer Makita Meyer. Create an environment. In a museum, artwork is illuminated constantly. Don't do that to your TV. Becky Elson, founder of Maple and White Design in South Bend, Indiana, said that even though the matte display reduces glare, direct lighting can be distracting. A mix of floor and table lamps provide the utility a family room needs without directing light at the screen, which you should also dim. I tell clients to turn the brightness down to 30 to 40% during the day and even lower at night, says Atlanta based designer Olivia Westbrooks. If the screen is glowing, it reads as tech, but if it's subdued, your brain reads it as canvas. Surrounding the TV with complemental pieces can help too, encouraging the eye to wander away from the TV, says Molly Britt of Poppy Street Interiors. From the style page, the secrets to celebrities' red carpet glow. Dermatologists and facialists reveal the treatment stars are using before big events and what might be worth trying. And this is by Tatiana Bonacampi. For a A-list actress, award season is a multi-leg marathon of dermatology appointments, facials, and wellness interventions to prime skin. High-tech cameras show no mercy to pores and wrinkles. In years past, event prep has been more about the glam. Red carpet speak for hair and makeup, but the emphasis is increasing on having a natural glow, says New York makeup artist Mary Wiles. Here, a cheat sheet to the cutting edge treatments that help stars get ready for their close ups, with expert reality checks on their effectiveness. For 3 months out, key treatments, stem cell injections. The range is between $1,500 to $15,000. Purported benefits, tighter and more radiant skin. Got a month or more to see results? Leading Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Dr. Mark Manny's $15,000 stem cell procedures involves harvesting stem cells from fat that's removed via microliposuction from flanks or inner thighs and then injected into the face. According to Dr. Manny, the improved vascularity from the formation of new blood cells results in glowing, thicker, less wrinkled skin. Dr. Heather Rogers, a dermatologist in Seattle, said the research suggests fat grafting can improve skin quality, but the biggest benefit is volume restoration. New York dermatologist Dr. David Kim uses two Korean imported technologies on red carpet bound celebs. Zeph, which is XERF, a $2,000 plus radio frequency device, and Potenza, a treatment that it combines microneedling and radio frequency. The range is between $1,500 to $2,500. Potenza is frequently combined with polynucleosides derived from salmon sperm. Yes, that's true. Do do it at least a week before and skin will appear brighter and more hydrated, says Kim of Potenza. Rogers take energy-based devices like Zeph and Potenza can stimulate collagen production, helping to modestly tighten skin. But it takes months for your body to respond, she says. She also noted that the FDA recently published a warning about radio frequency microneedling combinations. Several weeks out, key treatment NAD plus drips, injections, and nasal sprays. The range is $65 to $1,200. The purported benefits boosted glow and overall energy. It's well known in Hollywood that celebrities use NAD plus supplements, which contain a molecule essential to converting nutrients into energy. Decreased NAD levels accelerating aging and disintegration of all tissues in the body, including and perhaps most visibly in the skin, says Amanda Kahn, a internist and longevity specialist in Manhattan. She gives patients an NAD plus nasal spray to use once a day for 2 weeks before the big event. It's $280 a bottle, or bi-weekly injections of NAD plus for 5 to 10 weeks. For $1,000, one and done jolt, Netogen plus 45-minute NR drip. It's an NAD plus precursor, can be administered by a nurse at an A-lister's place the day before an event. Athena Hewitt, a celebrity esthetician in San Francisco, loves the glow enhancing effects of NAD plus drips, but advises clients not to use them on an empty stomach. It can make you nauseous. According to Rogers, there's little clinical evidence of NAD plus infusions meaningfully improving skin quality or energy levels in healthy people. A lot of what people feel after an IV is simply the effects of hydration and electrolytes, she says. The week of key treatments, lymphatic drainage, electrostimulation. It ranges from $500 to $800. Enhances circulation, less fluid retention, stress relief. To depuff the face, celebrity facialists reach into a Mary Poppins style bag of tricks that might include intraoral, inside the mouth, massage, and an electrostimulation machine, a favorite blood flow stimulating tool of Hewitt's. Her clients include Sophia Coppola, Kirsten Dunst, whom she recently gave a facial that included lymphatic drainage massage. The $500 to $900 lift, sculpt, and slap facial from Jaros, a New York esthetician who has previously prepped Megan Thee Stallions for the Oscars, focuses on reducing fluid retention and decreasing inflammation via LED therapy. Cold gua sha stones and lymphatic drainage massage. Light pressure is applied, moving from the center of the face outwards and down the neck. Los Angeles celebrity facialist Zomi Shong uses a microcurrent charged glove to help release muscles in the face. Most people carry tension in their face, often more on one side than the other, says Song, who says her facials help restore symmetry and subtly lift the face. Rogers stresses that lymphatic massage facials work as a temporary fix by shifting fluid and boosting blood flow, but noted that they're not changing the underlying biology of aging. The last 24 hours. Key treatments, handheld devices, sheet masks, and ice baths. The range is from free to $250. Their purported benefits: plumper, smoother, more hydrated skin. For celebs with mere hours to spare, San Diego and Beverly Hills based dermatologist Dr. Tess Mercurio likes hyaluronic acid infused sheet masks and carboxy therapy masks at $100 a pop. She calls the latter a hyperbaric chamber for the skin that triggers a rush of blood to the skin where the mask is applied, resulting in a healthy brightness. Rogers, the dermatologist, used carboxy therapy masks herself the day before she gets her picture taken. Wiles, the makeup artist, keeps a handheld device from Lendora in her kit that incorporates red and infrared light therapy, microcurrent stimulation, and low intensity electroporation to make product go in deeper. She says she uses this on Naomi Watts and others to give their faces a more lifted and defined look. Remember that there's always the old standby, and it doesn't cost anything. Dunking your face in ice water decreases inflammation and causes everything to contract, giving a temporary, firmer appearance, says Hewitt. Another article from the fashion page. Bra straps and panty lines used to be a red carpet don't. Now they're front and center. The naked dressing trend has gotten so big that now stylists and brands are crafting red carpet lingerie that is made to be seen. And this is Farhan Santel. At her home in Los Angeles, the celebrity stylist Tara Swen often tells her teenage daughter, "You can't just walk out of the house in a bra top." At work, it's another story. I've been encouraging my clients to wear visible lingerie on the red carpet a lot, says Swens, who has dressed stars from Allison Janney to Kristen Stewart for the Oscars, Golden Globes, and Emmys. It's a modern way to dress if you're a grown, confident adult, she says. Recently, Swen put the actress Sarah Michelle Gellar in a lace burgundy bra and matching sheer pencil skirt from the California based label Arjan. She draped it with an oversized matching blazer. She also styled Wicked star Mendina Menzel in a tweed jacket with a black lace bustier peeking out during a red carpet appearance last November. A few years ago, you sent a client out in visible lingerie and it would have been a tabloid story, Swen says. Today, it's practically a requirement for making the best dress list. Just look at one battle after another actress Tanara Taylor, who wore a Schiaparelli haute couture dress with a built-in demi-taille thong to the Golden Globes in January, or Margot Robbie, who wore a sheer Chanel couture dress over a bralette and tap pants at a film festival in Sydney. Fleur Milou design Jennifer Zuccarani has seen a drastic uptick in sales of her satin bralettes since 2021. Most recently, the actress Dakota Fanning sported a black one to the Fendi show, paired with a sharp black suit from the label's new designer Maria Karui. Zarkani is also making more and more custom lingerie for clients worldwide. Zarkani said that the switch happened because of two things: a post pandemic search for fashion options that merge comfort with style, and a seismic red carpet shift that began in 2014 when Rihanna wore the infamous naked dress, essentially a spider web made from Swarovski crystals, to the CFDA Awards in Manhattan. Similar looks from Beyonce, Dakota Jackson, Dakota Johnson, and Jennifer Lawrence emerged soon after, and like anything labeled hashtag naked online, they quickly went viral. Today, even labels known for their ultra demure look are playing peekaboo. At her penthouse place in London, Mayfair's district designer Alexandra Rich showed a long black dress made of delicate French Chantilly lace. A few years ago, retailers would have asked us to add a panel here to cover up the underwear. Now you can either add a slip if you prefer, or wear sheer with simple black underwear underneath, and it's great. How to pull it off without a nutritionist, a trainer, and a Pez dispenser full of GLP-1s. I'm a curvier person, says Swen, and you can use a high-waisted pair of underwear as a sharper while covering quite a lot of your torso. Both Swen and Zakari pointed to proportions when it comes to the look, noting that when you pair a tight and tiny bra top with a boxy jacket or pleated trousers, you get more balance. Swen recommends leaning into the monochromic of all of it, choosing, say, a black bra with a black pencil skirt and a black evening jacket. And don't be detoured, Swen noted. If you're old enough to have worn a bra and a blazer combo back in the 1980s, when it first became fashionable evening wear, thanks to designers like Yves Saint Laurent and Garro, then I have a client that's a little nervous. I ask them to lean into their power a little bit, she says. There's no rules anymore when it comes to fashion, as long as you're making a deliberate choice and you own it. For those nervous about wardrobe malfunctions, a solution emerged at Prada's last show in Milan, where 8 models in the front row wore little more than gray strapless bras and sheer skirts. The French Canadian influencer Easy Aline admitted she had some extra help with her outfit. My hairstylist helped me line the inside of the bra with wig tape, she says. It's the strongest stuff I've ever used. This bra isn't going anywhere. Saturday Night Live's star Chloe Feynman estimates she's worn a dozen bras under blazers while filming TV promos. To her, wearing a visible bra to work is a cheeky way to fulfill her teenage fashion dreams. I mean, think about it, she says. We used to get in trouble for this. Now people want to pay a lot of money to do the same thing. From the Slow Food Fast page, an easy weeknight dinner, kimchi braised pork belly with tofu. Chef Peter Cho's speedy saute of pork belly and kimchi riffs on the quick meals his mother made while he was growing up. And this is told by Kitty Greenwald and Chef Peter Cho. His restaurants are Han Ok and Jeju, both in Portland, Oregon. What he's known for, returning to his home state to open inventive Southern Korean restaurant using Pacific Northwest ingredients and a wood fire to create fresh takes on classical dishes. When Peter Cho's mother was diagnosed with cancer in 2013, he left a New York City career to care for her in Oregon. 3 years later, he and his wife, Sun Yo Park, opened Han Oak in Portland. While undergoing treatment, his mother became a fixture in the kitchen, helping on the line and tending to pots of fermenting kimchi. Though she died last year, her influence anchored Cho's work, including this recipe based on a meal she made on busy weeknights when Cho was a child. For Cho's second slow food fast combination, diced pork belly or slab bacon and kimchi are sauteed and served with steamed tofu. Nori squares make for snappy wrappers. To keep the spirit of ease intact, embrace Cho's use of a rice cooker. Rice is essential for sopping up the drippings, and lean on your microwave for the tofu. I cover it with a towel, like with tortillas, and warm it for a minute, he says. For presentation, gingerly prop the tofu against the pork, singling it out slightly. Our channel chose mom's no fuss approach and put a bunch of big bowls out on a table. And the recipe is kimchi braised pork belly with tofu. Kimchi, store bought or homemade, plays a starring role in this quick and easy weeknight pork belly dish. It takes about 30 minutes and it serves 4 people. The ingredients are 8 ounces firm tofu, drained and sliced into quarter-inch slabs, 1 pound of pork belly or uncured slab bacon, sliced in about a quarter-inch thick, 3 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped, a half a small white onion, thinly sliced, 5 scallions, whites cut into 2-inch batons, greens thinly sliced, 2 cups of kimchi, coarsely chopped, plus 2 tablespoons of its liquid, kosher salt, 4 to 6 sheets of nori, cut into 4-inch squares, and this is optional. The directions: insert a steamer basket into a wide pot and add just enough water so it doesn't touch the basket. Arrange tofu in a single layer in the basket and set the pot over medium-low heat. Cover and steam until tofu warms through 5 to 10 minutes. Alternately, microwave tofu slices on a plate covered with a kitchen towel until slabs warm at their center, and that would only take about 1 to 2 minutes. Dice the sliced pork into 2-inch pieces. Set a large skillet over medium heat and cook pork in a single layer until it turns golden brown at the edges, 5 minutes per side. Transfer meat to a bowl and leave drippings in the pan. Add garlic, white onion, and scallions to the drippings. Saute over medium heat until onions soften, 2 to 3 minutes. Stir in kimchi and cook to warm through, 2 to 3 minutes. Return diced pork to saute and stir thorough. Once flavor marries, 4 to 5 minutes, add kimchi liquid. Cook until it reduces to a glaze, 3 to 4 minutes, before seasoning with salt. Spoon the mixture into wide serving dish, serving reserving some pan drippings to finish. Arrange tofu slices over top or alongside, fanning out the tofu. Garnish with uncooked scallions and reserved drippings. Serve with steamed rice and nori sheets if desired. Here's another slow food fast recipe. French technique, Korean flavor, one impressive salmon. Cooking the fish makes for a showy presentation, but is actually a breeze to do. And again, this is told to Kitty Greenwald by Chef Peter Cho, who is from Portland, Oregon. Cho applies this culinary overlap to his first slow food fast contribution, bringing a Korean palate to salmon cooked en papole, which means French for in paper, a method for steam roasting ingredients in a pouch. However fancy this sounds, the technique is quite simple. Knowing when the salmon is done is the only tricky part of the in paper preparation, but don't stress. The fish fat helps guard against overcooking. If unsure, Cho suggests undercooking slightly because the packet can be returned to the oven. For the accompaniment, he is less forgiving. Serve with warm steamed rice. I'm always thinking about sopping up flavors, he says. And this is the salmon with citrus, soy, scallion, and capers. To make the salmon a weeknight friendly without sacrificing showmanship, all the fillets cook through in one large packet instead of being individually wrapped. And it takes only about 25 minutes and it serves four. Okay, you need 1 lemon half lengthwise, 3 cups of shredded Napa cabbage, 4 8-ounce salmon fillets, skin removed, kosher salt and freshly cracked black pepper, 1 tablespoon of olive oil plus more as needed, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of capers drained and roughly chopped, 3 scallions sliced thin on the bias, warm white rice to serve. Directions: preheat oven to 400 degrees. Slice 1 lemon half into thin bite-sized triangles. Discard seeds. Juice the other lemon half and set aside. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper or use aluminum foil for easier cinching. On half of the sheet, spread out cabbage to form an even bed. Arrange salmon on top, leaving at least a half-inch gap between fillets. Season with salt and pepper. Drizzle olive oil, lemon juice, rice wine vinegar, and soy sauce over fish and cabbage. Scatter capers, lemon slices, and scallions over top. Fold the parchment or foil over the salmon, lining up the edges to form a pouch. Starting at one corner, cinch seams shut by crimping edges together with tightly overlapping folds. Package should be airtight so juices don't escape. Bake on a center rack for 12 to 15 minutes until aromatic and fish flakes easily when potted. To test for medium doneness, gently open the parcel and insert a metal cake tester or the point of a knife into the thickest part of the fillet. Hold it there for 5 seconds, then touch the tip to your lower lip. It should feel warm, but not hot. Bring resealed parcel to the table and open it before your guests. Spoon cooking juices over fish and cabbage. Serve with rice. You're listening to reading of articles and features from Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. From the film page, use this guide if you haven't seen any of the Oscar movies. How to Seem Like You Know What You're Talking About by Sunday. And this is by Esther Zuckerman. Sinners. Where to watch, HBO Max or Amazon Prime Video. One thing to know, Michael B. Jordan has appeared in all of director Ryan Coogler's features, but in this saga of a Mississippi juke joint beset by vampires, Jordan plays two characters, twins, Smoke and Stack. Insider info, Miles Canton sung alongside the musician H.E.R. before being cast at blues prodigy Preacher Boy, but he had to learn to master the guitar for the role. The next one battle after another. Where to watch it? HBO Max. One thing to know. Director Paul Thomas Anderson's saga of an ex-revolutionary played by Leonardo DiCaprio tries to save his daughter from a white supremacist colonel who is Sean Penn, is loosely based on Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland. Insider info. One battle is dedicated to assistant director and producer Eden Sommer, a longtime collaborator of Anderson's, who died in 2024. You can hear Sommer's voice in the final moments of the credits. Frankenstein. Where to watch? It's on Netflix. One thing to know. Director Guillermo del Toro first read Mary Shelley's novel as a child and also is indebted to the 1931 James Whale movie. The insider information. Jacob Elordi is now Oscar nominated for playing Frankenstein's monster, but he was a last minute replacement for Andrew Garfield, who dropped out. Sentimental value. Where to watch? Rent or buy on VOD. One thing to know. This Norwegian film about the complicated relationships between a film director and his adult daughters won the Grand Prix at the Cannes Festival, essentially second place. Insider information through the film takes place in Oslo and much of it is in Norwegian. Skarsgård is actually speaking his native Swedish. Marty Supreme, where to watch, rent or buy on VOD. One thing to know, Timothy Comet stars as a ping pong hustler Marty Masur in the 1950s period piece from director Josh Sadif. He was inspired by the antics of real-life tennis star Marty Weissman. Insider information. Sadis considered an alternate ending for the movie where the businessman played by Kevin O'Leary was actually a vampire. Hammett. Where to watch? You can watch it on Peacock. One thing to know, director Chloe Zhou co-wrote the screenplay for this tragedy about William Shakespeare's wife Agnes and the death of their son with author Maggie O'Farrell based on her prize-winning novel. Zhou did dance takes where the cast would groove to popular music to lighten the load after serious scenes. Train Dreams, where to watch, it's on Netflix. One thing to know, the Sundance Film Festival hit about the life and sorrows of a logger in early 20th century America is based on a novella by Dennis Johnson. Insider information, Director Clint Bentley is nominated for co-writing the adaptive play alongside Greg Weird. Both were also nominated last year for writing the prison set Sing Sing. The Secret Agent, Where to Watch It, on Hulu or Disney. One thing to know, director Kleiber Fillo wrote a lead role of a man on the run in the 1970 Brazil for Oscar-nominated star Wagner Moura. The actress Tatiana Maria, who plays the sassy woman who takes in Mora's character, has become such a phenom in Brazil since the film's release. She's doing Heineken and Burger King ads. Begonia, Where to Watch, it's on Peacock. What to Know, this is the third Best Picture nominated star Emma Stone and director Latimois have gotten for a film they've done together. She plays a CEO kidnapped by a conspiracy theorist who thinks she's an alien. Insider info. Because Stone had to shave her head for the role, she demanded that Lyconis shave his as well. F1, Where to Watch on Apple TV. What to Know, the sports drama was filmed during actual F1 races. Real life information, real life F1 star Lewis Hamilton is a producer and appears in the film. You've been listening to the reading of articles and features from Saturday, Sunday, March 14th, 15th issue of Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal. We read from Off Duty every Saturday at 6 p.m. Your reader has been Patricia Mary. Thank you for listening. God bless and be safe out there.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have Harper's Magazine. At 8 o'clock, we have Sports Illustrated. At 9 o'clock, we have The Athletic, a section of the New York Times. Stay with us for these readings and more through the rest of the evening. Are you facing challenges with vision loss and need help with your smartphone, sending emails, navigating the internet, and staying connected with your family? Via visually impaired advancement is offering free classes for seniors weekly at multiple locations with free assistance for your smartphone, email, and internet skills. There's a new session every week, and this rotates between the South Towns and the North Towns. It's at your local Erie County libraries. The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability